Hello and welcome back to our Nullitaire playthrough of Love Letter. And once again, Nullitaire here means we're playing with 0 players, or in other words, we're playing bots against each other. If you haven't seen the first video in this series, I recommend watching that first, because that's where I explain the bots and how they work. So if you haven't seen that video, it might be very hard to follow what's going on here. So watch that video first before this one, if possible. Okay, so we completed a full 4-player game with all 4 of the bots that I made, and Ravenbot turned out to be the victor there. But then I thought I'd like to do a kind of tournament-style play of the bots where they play head-to-head in the 2-player version of this game. Because the 2-player version is a slightly different experience than the 4-player game. The thing about the 4-player game is that luck plays a much bigger role, I think. And that's because you don't get very many hands. I mean, if you think about it, there's only 16 cards in the deck. And if you're playing with 4 players, well, remember that 1 card is buried, so you can't even quite get to 4 hands. And with cards around like the Prince that require other players to discard their hands and draw new cards, you're probably not going to get more than 3 hands in the entire round. So the luck of the draw is more important there than in the 2-player game, where you'll see 5 or 6 hands in a single game. Okay, so I think skillful play is much more likely to have an effect in the 2-player game. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put together a tournament. I've made a bracket for this tournament. It's going to be a double elimination tournament. And we're going to just play the bots against each other head-to-head in the 2-player version of the game. And like I said, it's a double elimination tournament, so I've just randomly assigned the bots. They're not seeded or anything like that. They were just randomly assigned. And so TurkeyBot will take on Hawkbot first, and Ravenbot will take on Dubbot first. The winners of those rounds go head-to-head in the next round. The losers of those 2 rounds go into the losers bracket and play head-to-head. The loser of that round is knocked out because it's lost 2 games at that point. The winner goes on and plays the loser of the next round. The loser of that round is knocked out. The winner goes on and plays the winner of the second round in the winner's bracket. And the winner of that is declared the victor of the tournament unless the bot from the winner's bracket loses, in which case that means it's only lost 1 game, and you have to lose 2 games to be knocked out. So they would play again in that case, and the winner of that would be the winner of the whole tournament. All right, so we'll end up playing 6 games with a potential 7th game, and that'll be the tournament. I'm hoping to be able to do 2 games per video, so this should take 3 videos to do this entire tournament. And I think these games will go fairly quickly. I mean, the 2-player game kind of snaps along a little faster than the 4-player game, mostly because these bots don't have to keep track of knowledge quite as much. There's only one other player's card to sort of keep track of. So I think keeping track of knowledge will go much more quickly. And, oftentimes these hands can be pretty short. You knock the other player out and the hand's over. Sometimes that can be in the first card. Okay, so we're going to set up the first game, which is going to be TurkeyBot versus Hawkbot, and we'll see how that turns out. And, if you're the betting type and you're interested in bracketology, make your own bracket. See if it matches up. I don't promise any cash prizes, but you could take a chance. See who you think is going to come out the victor. Okay, let's get going. Okay, so we've set up the first game. It's Hawkbot versus TurkeyBot. And in the 2-player version of this game, instead of just burning the top card, we do that plus reveal 3 cards. So both players start out with some knowledge. at the beginning of the hand, at the beginning of the round. Okay, I just decided randomly, well, I didn't decide randomly. I threw a coin toss. It was decided who will go first, and Hawkbot won the toss. So Hawkbot will go first in the first round. Hawkbot starts with the 7-2, and that means the play will be the 2. The priest, and so Hawkbot gets to take a peek at TurkeyBot's hand, which is a guard. Keeping track of knowledge in this game will be much simpler. We really just need to track knowledge for each bot. We don't even need to track public knowledge because, there's nobody else. So whatever public knowledge there is, we can just write in the knowledge box for the opposing bot. Okay, so Hawkbot knows that TurkeyBot's holding a 1. And TurkeyBot's hand is a 1-1, so we'll play the 1. Okay. So what will be the choice here? Player, obviously you have to choose the other player, so that's simplified in the 2-player game. The card, if you know their card, choose that. Don't know the card. So a random number 2 to 5 that is 2 unseen cards. Okay, so now remember we have these extra cards up here that have already been shown. So TurkeyBot can see a 4 and a 2 within the range of 2 to 5, so won't choose those. So we'll choose either a 3 or a 5, and we'll do so randomly. So we'll have to roll on that. The roll is a 6, so TurkeyBot will take the higher number, 5. So we'll guess that Hawkbot's holding a prince, and that is wrong. Okay, that's TurkeyBot's turn. Even knowledge like this, TurkeyBot knows that Hawkbot is not holding a 5. Even knowledge like that is not very interesting in the 2-player game because it's now Hawkbot's turn. And so, knowing what card they were not holding a minute ago is not going to mean very much at the end of Hawkbot's turn, because no matter what card is played, that might have been the one that wasn't the 5. And so it's possible that Hawkbot, will have a 5 in their hand at the end of this hand. So that kind of knowledge is not very interesting, doesn't go very far in a 2-player game. Okay, so anyway, it's Hawkbot's turn, and it's the Princess and Countess. So obviously the play has to be the Countess, which does nothing. TurkeyBot again with the guards. Okay, well, play the guard. And again, it'll be a random number 2 to 5 that has 2 unseen cards, and it's still the 5 and the 3 that haven't been seen. So a random roll on that. The roll this time is a 3, so TurkeyBot will take the lower number this time and guess that Hawkbot is holding a Baron, which is not the case. Well, Hawkbot is holding a Baron now, and this is bad news for TurkeyBot. So obviously have to play the 3 in this case, and nobody can beat an 8, so TurkeyBot is out. Okay, so Hawkbot wins the first token of affection for this game. Hawkbot is first this hand because it won the last hand and starts with a 4-3. With the 4-3, the Hawk goes very aggressive, as a Hawk will, and plays the 3. The thing about the Handmaid is it doesn't seem like a very high card, but actually, like I said in the first video of this series, the 3 is the median card in the entire deck. So half the cards in the deck are lower than 3. Well, that's not quite true. Because there's 2 3s also. But there's an equal number of cards lower than the 3 as there are higher than the 3. There are 7 cards lower than the 3 and 7 cards higher. So the Handmaid is actually higher than more than half the deck. There are 9 cards lower than the Handmaid and only 5 cards higher than the Handmaid. So actually, all things being equal, if you don't know what the other player's card is, then there's better than a 50% chance of winning this, which is good enough for the Hawk. Okay, so the Hawk plays the 3, and so is going to compare hands with the Turkey, and the lower one is out. Oh! Sorry, Hawkbot. You're out this time. TurkeyBot wins this hand. TurkeyBot goes first this round. By the way, the princess was in the flop I guess you'd call that, to use a poker term. So she's already gone. Okay, so TurkeyBot has a 5-1. And so I'm going to play a random card. That's what that all comes to. So we'll have to roll on that. The roll is a 6, so TurkeyBot will play the higher card, Prince. And so TurkeyBot never chooses itself with the Prince. So the other player, that is to say Hawkbot, will have to discard their hand and draw a new card. Okay. Hawkbot has a 4-1, so it's the defensive versus offensive choice. So, you know, we know what Hawkbot's going to do. Yeah, it's going to play the 1. Okay. And that means it'll choose the highest card, 2 to 5, that is 2 unseen cards. All right, well, it can see a 5, and it can see a 4, and it can see a 3, but doesn't see any 2s. And so it says, I think you're holding a 2 over there, TurkeyBot. That's not the case. TurkeyBot again with the guard. Okay, so play the guard. And a random number, 2 to 5, that is 2 unseen cards. Well, again, we can see the 5, a 4, and a 3. So only the 2 remains. So TurkeyBot says, Hawkbot, I think you're the one holding the 2. That's not the case. So Hawkbot again has the 4-1. So we know how this is going to go. The 1 again. Okay. And once again, it's the 2 that's going to be guessed. That's the highest number, 2 to 5, that is 2 unseen cards. So it just says 2 again. Now, it guessed 2 last time, and I have it written not 2, but, you know, TurkeyBot just had a turn, so it's possible that TurkeyBot's holding a 2 now. So that should be scratched off. All right, so anyway, the bot as written will say 2 once again, and is wrong once again. TurkeyBot has a 6-1. And so we'll play the 1. Okay. And as before, choose a random number, 2 to 5, that is 2 unseen cards. And yeah, it looks like it's the 2 again. Maybe we see a 5, we see a 4, we see a 3. Yeah, still the 2. Okay. So TurkeyBot says, Hawkbot, you're the one holding the 2. And that's not the case. Hawkbot's turn. And finally, someone has a 2. Okay. So the 4-2, Hawkbot would like to play the 2. So we'll play the 2 and take a peek at what the TurkeyBot's holding. They're holding a king. Well, TurkeyBot's in a pretty bad situation now. The 6 is compromised, of course, because Hawkbot just looked at it. The 6-1 is a pretty terrible time to play a 6, you know? You play that 6, and you give the guard to the other player, and they give you their card, and so they now have a guard and know exactly what you're holding. So that's not good at all. So it's better, really, even if you have a compromised card, to just play the 1. In this case, actually, not too bad, because all the other guards are gone anyway. So holding that compromised card is probably not going to be too big a deal. And in fact, it's the highest card in the deck right now, because both the 8 and the 7 are dead. So holding that 6 turns out to probably be a pretty good idea here. And that's what TurkeyBot does. So I guess I was wrong. Not such a bad position after all. It looked bleak, but turns out to actually not be so bad. Okay, so playing the 1. Let's see. What's going to be a random number, 2 to 5, that is 2 unseen cards. Are there any like that? There's a 5, there's a 4 up there, there's a 3, there's a 2. Okay, so no. So instead, play a random number that has 1 unseen card. Okay, well, we've seen the 8, the 7, the 6. There's 1 5 still out there. There's a 4 still out there. There's a 3 still out there. There's a 2 still out there. So there's a 2, a 3, a 4, and a 5. Oh, so it's going to choose between those 4 numbers anyway. Okay, so we'll do a random roll on those 4 numbers. The roll's a 2, so TurkeyBot will take the second lowest of those numbers, which will be 3. So TurkeyBot says, Hawkbot, you're holding a 3, and that's incorrect. Hawkbot's holding a 4-2. This is an interesting situation because by the programming, it will play the 2. That's kind of a weird play here because it already knows that TurkeyBot's holding a 6. So it's not going to gain any information by doing that. So in this case, the 4 is probably the better play. But in any case, these bots aren't perfect. They don't. I don't claim that they are. Especially not for two-handed play. I'm discovering while playing these that if I had designed these to be played two-player, I probably would have made some different choices in how they play. But I didn't design them with that in mind. Okay. Anyway, this is how they play. So this is how we're playing them. All right. So the priest does nothing in this case because, well, I mean, Hawkbot gets to look again, but already knows it. So. Okay. Okay, so here we have a curious case. TurkeyBot ends up with the 6-3, and this is the last card in the deck. So there'll be a showdown after this hand if Hawkbot's still around. And just, thinking about the game as it is, playing the Baron is the obvious choice here. I mean, both the 7 and the 8 are gone, so the 6 is the highest card in the deck. That would be an automatic win for TurkeyBot. But does the Turkey play like that? No. A 6-3. We have that old C/R. And so, by the programming, the 6 is compromised. It should play the 6. But that's just, that's a really foolish play. It's going to cost TurkeyBot this hand because, Hawkbot's holding a 4. So it's going to win the showdown here. Okay. And so this is a place, where I think these bots could be improved. I think even the turkey should be playing this hand properly. So, if I were to go on with these bots and try to improve them, I would probably use this bit of information to improve the general schematic that I use for building all the bots. Because all the bots should play the 3 in this case. It's an obvious strategy, and I wanted all the bots to play the obvious hands properly, and this is an obvious hand. So, if I were to, try to fix these bots up, I might, program something like that in, right? If the 6 is the highest card or something like that, then play the 3. Okay, in any case, we're playing this bot as written, so it's going to do this thing, and, oh, actually, wait a minute. It's going to switch hands. Oh. Actually, TurkeyBot's going to end up winning anyway. Go figure. Okay, well, there you go. I didn't think about that. Yeah, that's true. So actually it didn't matter what TurkeyBot did. Maybe the turkey is not so stupid after all, right? Maybe it doesn't really matter. That's what TurkeyBot thinks, right? It doesn't really matter. Play either card. And that turns out to be right in this case. Okay, well, TurkeyBot turned out to win this hand. Go figure. Okay, next hand, TurkeyBot starts out with the 6-1. And so, of course, we'll play the 1. And we'll end up choosing a random number 2 to 5 that has 2 unseen cards. Right now, only the 4 can be seen. So it'll choose randomly between 2, 3, and 5. The roll's a 4, so it'll take the middle card and say, Hawkbot, I think you're holding a 3. Which is right. Okay, TurkeyBot wins this hand. TurkeyBot starts this hand with a double guard. So it's going to choose random number 2 to 5 that has 2 unseen cards. Well, both the 4s are in the flop, and there's a 5 in there too. So it's either going to be a 2 or a 3. The roll's a 4, so TurkeyBot will take the higher card. So once again, we'll accuse Hawkbot of holding a Baron. Wow. And it's true again. Okay. So TurkeyBot wins this hand too on the first guess. TurkeyBot starts out with the Baron this time. It's the Baron guard. So the play will be the guard. So TurkeyBot's going to take another guess. Okay, so random number 2 to 5 that has 2 unseen cards. Well, both the Barons are gone now. So 2, 4, and 5 are the only cards, 2 to 5, that have not been seen. Okay, so a random roll to choose one of those. So the roll's a 5. So TurkeyBot will take the highest number, which will be 5. So it will accuse Hawkbot of holding a 5. Can the turkey do it 3 times in a row to knock out the Hawkbot on the very first guess? No. Okay. All right, that's TurkeyBot's turn. Okay, the Hawkbot has guard, guard. So plays guard. And that means choose the highest number, 2 to 5, that has 2 unseen cards. And again, that's the prince. Okay, so Hawkbot's going to say, TurkeyBot, you're the one holding the prince. And that's not true. TurkeyBot now has the 4-3. And it's going to choose randomly from those. So I've already rolled on that. And the roll was a 2. So that means TurkeyBot's going to play the lower card. That's the Baron. So compare hands, and the lower hand is out. Okay, TurkeyBot wins once again. Wow, so that's 5 now for TurkeyBot, and only 1. Are we going to see an upset? Did anyone have TurkeyBot in their bracket? Are all the brackets going to be busted in the very first round? Oh, wow, it's so exciting. Okay, on to the next hand. Okay, well, TurkeyBot has the early princess this time, so that's probably bad news. It's really hard to win a hand 2 players when you start with a princess. Okay, anyway, the guard is the play here, obviously, and it's going to be random number 2 to 5. That is 2 unseen cards. Well, TurkeyBot can see a 5, so it's going to be 2, 3, or 4, and there'll be a random roll on that. The roll's a 6, so TurkeyBot will take the higher number, which is 4. So it'll say, Hawkbot, are you holding the 4? No. Oh, this time it was the Baron. Not a 4. Okay, that's TurkeyBot's turn. Hawkbot has a 3-1. So, of course, we'll play the 1. And we'll guess the highest number, 2 to 5, that has 2 unseen cards. Well, the 5 has been seen, so the highest card in that range is 4. So, TurkeyBot, holding the 4. Nope. TurkeyBot has 8-2, so the priest will be the play. And that means TurkeyBot gets to have a peek at Hawkbot's hand, which is a Baron. Wow, this is terrible. So Hawkbot draws the other Baron. And, the 3's compromised. But, it doesn't matter. Got to play one of the Barons. And so, TurkeyBot gets away with the early princess. TurkeyBot wins this round. So, TurkeyBot has 6 tokens of affection now, and Hawkbot only has 1. So, TurkeyBot just needs to win one more hand to win it all. So, could this be the hand? Well, let's take a look at what TurkeyBot starts the hand with. What? Exactly the hand that Hawkbot got out in the last round with. Okay, well, doesn't look good, but, there are 7 cards lower than the Baron and 7 cards higher, so could be. I mean, we do see 2 cards lower and 1 card higher there, so that affects the odds a little bit. But in any case, it's going to be a showdown here. A Baron versus whatever Hawkbot has, and the higher card wins. If the Hawk is holding a guard or a priest, then TurkeyBot takes this entire round and moves on to the next round in the bracket. Okay, here we go. Oh, it's a 1. Yep, TurkeyBot wins it all. Anyone call that one? Is everybody's bracket busted? I guess it's not quite a 16 seed beating a 1 seed in March Madness or anything like that, but still a little bit surprising. Does this mean it's better to play randomly than to play aggressively? I don't know. Maybe this is some evidence toward that, but the dispute rages on. All right. In any case, the first round of the tournament, TurkeyBot defeats Hawkbot. Okay, time for the next matchup. It's DoveBot versus RavenBot now. And just so, again, choosing randomly who will go first. DoveBot won the coin toss, so DoveBot will take the first turn. Okay, here we go. DoveBot starts with a 4-1. So, we know the Dove. It's going to probably play that 4. So, yeah, that's what happens. Play the 4. Can't be targeted for the rest of the round. RavenBot starts out with a 5-7. The rules require the Countess be played if she finds herself in a hand with the Prince. So, play the Countess, which does nothing. DoveBot now has the 1-1, so we'll play the guard. And that means choosing the highest number 2 to 5 that has 2 unseen cards, which will be the 5. And I think that is the card. Yep. Okay. So RavenBot is out. DoveBot takes the first token of affection. DoveBot starts the next hand with a 2-1. And so we'll play the 2. Have a look at RavenBot's hand, which is the other 2. Okay. RavenBot also starts with a 2-1. The 2 is compromised, though, because DoveBot just looked at it. Okay. Well, it turns out that RavenBot's going to play the 2. Okay. So RavenBot will say, I can do that too. Show me your card now. That's a card. Okay. And DoveBot gets a 4-1. If it knew RavenBot's card, it would play the 1. And it doesn't know that anymore because the 2 is played. Okay, so just play the 4. Okay, play the 4, and that means it can't be targeted for the rest of the round. RavenBot has the 6-1. Normally, playing the 6 in this situation would be very bad. So all the bots are designed to play the 1 in this situation. But actually, head-to-head, up against someone who's just played the handmaid and can't be targeted, neither of these cards would actually do anything. So this is a case where playing the 6 would actually not be dangerous. Okay, but anyway, we'll go off of what the programming is, which is to always play the 1 in this case. So RavenBot will play the 1, but that doesn't do anything because DoveBot can't be targeted right now. DoveBot has a 5-1. The 1 has been compromised, and that was true last hand too. I forgot to turn it on its side. It didn't matter. DoveBot still would have played the 4. It probably doesn't matter here either. I mean, compromised 1s are not that big a deal because you can't guess a 1 when you play a guard. Okay, so it's a 5-1. So this all comes down to playing the 5. Okay, because the 5's not compromised. Don't know where the 8 is. Don't know anyone's number. Okay, so play the 5. So someone has to discard their hand. Who's it going to be? If you know where the 8 is, no. If your hand's an 8, no. If your hand's a 4 to 7, choose yourself. No, none of that. Okay, so RavenBot's going to have to discard their hand because of the Prince. Okay, so there goes the king. RavenBot gets the guard. So play a guard. And, this isn't going to do anything because RavenBot knows that DoveBot's holding a 1, but can't guess a 1 with the guard. So it doesn't matter. Guess any number. It's going to be wrong. So, say 4 or whatever. Doesn't matter. It's wrong. So that's DoveBot's defensive strategy working well here. DoveBot likes to hold the 1 for exactly that. It means that it can't be targeted by other guards. Okay, this hand is a 7-1. And DoveBot let's see, is going to want to play the 7. Okay, so just keep hanging on to that guard. And so the Countess doesn't do anything. And Ravenbot again with the guard. So this is just a repeat of the last hand. It doesn't matter what's chosen here, it'll be wrong because we know that Dubbot's holding a guard. Well, Dubbot picks up the princess in the last card of the round. So Dubbot's definitely going to win here. So play the guard. Just to play it out, let's see what Dubbot would choose. Okay, it doesn't know Ravenbot's card, so the highest number 2 to 5, that is 2 unseen cards. Let's see, there's a 5, there's a 4. No 3s have been seen. No, there's a 3. There's a 2. Okay. I mean, there's only 2 unseen cards, right? The buried card and Ravenbot's card. So it's going to be a toss-up between those two. So what are they? Let's see. 8, 7, 6. We see only, both princes are there, both handmaids. There's only one baron. Okay, so there's a baron out there. And there's a 1, right? Yeah, there's another 1. So it's either the baron or the 1, so gotta say the baron. And that's not true, but now it's showdown time. And Dubbot wins. The next hand, Dubbot starts with a 3-1. And of course, that means play the 1. And we'll choose the highest number, 2 to 5, that has 2 unseen cards. Okay, well, we can see a 3 and we can see a 5. So 4 is the highest among those. So Dubbot will guess that Ravenbot's holding a 4. Nope, that is not the case. Ravenbot now has the 7-6, and so the Countess must be played in this situation, which does nothing. Okay, Dubbot has a 5-3, which will be the 5. Yeah, because it doesn't know that someone's holding a 1 through 4. It doesn't know that Ravenbot's holding an 8. Doesn't know anything about Ravenbot. Okay, so the 5 will be the play here. Prince. So choose someone to discard their hand. All right. Well, let's see. If you know someone has the 8, choose them. If your hand's an 8, no. If you're holding a 4 through 7, or a player knows your hand, choose yourself. Thinking about that, I didn't think through what that meant when I built this bot, because there's no way to hold a 7 while playing a prince. Like, there's no way to do that, right? Because if you have the Countess in your hand with the prince, you have to play the Countess. It's required by the rules. So that would never happen. And also the 4, I mean, if the Dubbot is holding a 4 or 5, the handmaid and the prince, well then probably going to play the 4, right? Not going to play the 5 in that case. So that would never happen either. So the only time that would actually come into effect is if Dubbot were holding the 5-5. So that could be made clearer, right? If you're holding a 5 or a player knows your hand, then choose yourself, because there's no way Dubbot could ever be holding a 4 or a 7. It could be holding a 6 though, I guess. Yeah, the 6-5 is a possibility, right? 6-5. Yeah, I could play the 5 in that case. Okay, so the 5 or the 6 is a possibility there, but 4 and 7 are just not possible. Okay, anyway, none of this happens. So the Dubbot just says, okay, you over there, Ravenbot, throw away your hand. Okay, and draw a new card. Ravenbot now has a 2-1, so it's going to play the 2 and take a peek at Dubbot's hand, which is a baron. Dubbot has a 4-3. The baron's been compromised, but playing the handmaid would keep anything bad from happening to the Dubbot for a round anyway. So it probably doesn't matter. Let's see, 4-3. Play the 4 if it's been compromised. No. If you know the 1 to the 1 or 3, play the 3. No. Okay, so play the 4. So the handmade, and that means can't be targeted for the rest of the round. Ravenbot picks up the princess, means the guard must be played, but that doesn't do anything because of the handmade. Okay, well, this is a pretty bad position for Dovebot now. I mean, the 3 is compromised, but this is not a place to play a 3 while holding a guard. Okay, so no matter what, Dovebot plays the 1 in this case and just hopes that having that compromised card won't be a big problem. Or, maybe can get Ravenbot out on the play of the 1. So let's see. It doesn't know what Ravenbot's holding, so the highest number 2 to 5 that has 2 unseen cards. Well, there's the 5, there's a 4, there's a 3 in hand, and there's a 2. Okay, so they've all been seen at least once. Then it just goes with the highest unseen card. Ah, well, that's the princess. Okay, so Dovebot's going to get away with something here. It's going to say, I think you're holding the princess, Ravenbot, and that is true. Okay, so Dovebot wins this hand. Dovebot starts out the next round with the 5-4, and that means that it's going to play its favorite card, the 4. It can't be targeted for the rest of this round. Ravenbot has a 4-3 now, and in this situation, it wants to play the 3. Normally thinking something like, well, the 4 is a high enough card to have a better than 50% chance of winning. But in this case, I mean, the handmaid is in play, so there's no one to target. But again, these bots are not sophisticated or smart enough to figure that out. So Ravenbot will play the 3, but that won't do anything. Interesting. I was just talking about this hand last round. Okay, well, here it is. Dovebot has the king prince. Okay, and I think it's probably the prince, right? Yeah. Doesn't know where the 8 is, where 1 is, so play the prince. Okay. And that means it's going to choose itself, I think. Yeah, so the last part comes into play there. Holding a 4 through 7, choose yourself. Okay, and the idea here, by the way, for Dovebot is Dovebot doesn't like to hold high cards. Dovebot wants to hold low cards, especially guards. Because Dovebot thinks that higher cards are more likely to be guessed when people hold a guard. So Dovebot's going to choose itself, throw away this king, and draw a new hand. Ravenbot picks up the princess, but also has a handmaid in hand, so that will protect the princess for at least a round. Here's an interesting situation. Dovebot has a 5-1, Prince Guard, and it would want to play the 5 here, thinking holding the 1 is better, right? Like I said, Dovebot likes to hold 1s. But the thing is, playing the prince, since the handmaid is in play, Dovebot would have to target itself. Right, if you can't choose a different player, you have to choose yourself. And so would have to discard their own hand. Okay, so the principle of trying to hold the guard, therefore play the prince, it's not actually going to work in this case. Playing the prince is going to cause Dovebot to discard the guard. But in any case, that's what Dovebot's going to do. Play the prince, discard the guard, draw a new card. Ravenbot draws the countess, and so obviously that has to be the play, and that doesn't do anything. Dovebot gets the guard, so guard obviously is the play. And it would choose the highest number 2 to 5 that has 2 unseen cards, but there aren't any of those. They've all been seen at least once. There's a 2, a 3, a 4. There's a 5. So its next priority is just the highest unseen card. Of course, that's the princess, and that means, once again, Ravenbot is out. Poor Ravenbot has really not been able to get anything going in this game. Still has not won a single hand. Has no tokens of affection whatsoever, while Dovebot has 4. Okay, well, the next hand is this thing again. That same hand I was talking about. Will it be played the same way again? Looks like it. Okay. So Dubbot says, I don't like all these high cards. Play the prince and then throw away this king. Hopefully get something more defensible. Ravenbot has a 3-1, and so of course we'll play the 1. Okay. And so Ravenbot chooses a number with 2 unseen cards in first in this list, 3, 4, 5, or 2. Okay, so a 3 has been seen. A 4 has not. Okay. So Ravenbot says, Dubbot, are you holding a 4? No. It's a prince. Well, now Dubbot's holding a 4. And will probably play its favorite card. Yes, that is what it will do. Okay, play the handmaid. And can't be targeted for a round. Oh, man. This was Ravenbot's chance. Oh, there's no better hand than this. Princess and the Baron. But that handmaid. Oh, boy. Okay, well, the Baron is the play. But it doesn't do anything. It's another handmaid for Dubbot. So, once again, that will be the play. Can't be targeted again. Ravenbot picks up a guard, so must play it, but it doesn't do anything. Okay, more bad news for Ravenbot. It's a 5-2. So Dubbot is probably going to play that 5, right? Yeah, play the 5 unless the 2 is compromised. Okay, so play the 5. And it's not going to choose itself this time because it's not holding a 4 through 7. Perfectly happy holding a 2. Okay. So Ravenbot has to discard that princess again. And that means Dubbot wins yet again. Dubbot starts the next hand with a 3-1. And so, of course, we'll play the 1. And that means guessing the highest number 2 to 5 that has 2 unseen cards. Okay, no 5 has been seen. So that's the guess here. Is Ravenbot holding a 5? No. Ravenbot has a 4-1. And the play will be the 4. Okay. So Ravenbot can't be targeted for the rest of the round. Oh, wow. Turnabout is fair play, huh? Now Dubbot gets that great hand. And this time Ravenbot has the handmaid in play. Okay, so maybe that's the tide turning for Ravenbot there. Okay, so the Baron has to be the play, but that doesn't do anything. Ravenbot has the 2-1, and we'll play the 2 to have a look at Dubbot's hand. And of course, we'll find out that the princess is over there. Okay. Okay, I thought Dubbot was in big trouble here because Ravenbot's holding a guard. But the play here has to be the prince. And of course, can't choose self. So Dubbot makes Ravenbot discard that guard and draw a new card. So maybe Dubbot will be okay. Depends on what card Ravenbot just drew. Well, bad news for Dubbot. I guess it is the turning of the tide for Ravenbot here. It actually doesn't even matter which card is played. Ravenbot knows that Dubbot is holding that 8, so either one would get it out. But anyway, let's just see what we have here. Okay, so if you know where the 8 is, play the 5. Okay, so it's going to be the 5, and Dubbot is made to discard the princess, so Ravenbot wins this hand. Ravenbot starts the next hand with the 4-1, so that means play the 4. Okay, you play the 4, can't be targeted for the rest of this round. Dubbot has the 7-2, and that means play the 7. Okay, that doesn't do anything interesting. The Raven now has 5-1, Nothing's compromised, don't know anything, so play the 5. Okay. And so the 5, let's see. Nobody knows Ravenbot's hand. Ravenbot's not holding an 8. Doesn't know the 8. Okay. So just choose the other player. Dovebot has to discard their hand, draw a new card. Dovebot has the 2-1. Doesn't know anyone's number, so play the 2. Means gets to take a peek over Ravenbot's card. It's a 1. Ravenbot now has the 4-1. Well, the 1 is compromised, but it's not probably too big a deal. Yeah, Ravenbot's going to play the 4. Okay, can't be targeted for the rest of the round. All right, so Dovebot now has the 3-1. So it's going to want to play the 1. Yeah, we'll play the 1. Too bad you can't guess a 1. And too bad the handmade. So this card does nothing. Okay. Ravenbot found the princess, so must play the guard, of course. And let's see, what will they choose? Don't know Dovebot's number, so a number with 2 unseen cards. First in the list, 3, 4, 5, 2. Okay, well there's a 3 up there. The 4s are gone. There's a 5, and the 2s are all gone. Okay, so nothing there. So number with one unseen card and first in this list, 8, 6, 3, 4, 7, 5, 2. All right, well there's the 8. It's the 6. Yeah, the 6 has been seen. Okay, so a 3 would be next. Okay, well there's 1 and 3 there, but I don't see the other 3. So that's going to be Ravenbot's guess. Okay, that's the first one on the list. So Ravenbot says, Dovebot, you're holding a 3, aren't you? Oh, and that is true. Okay, Dovebot's out. Ravenbot wins another one. Okay, first hand of the next round. Ravenbot starts off with a 3-1. So of course we'll play the 1 and just take a shot at Dovebot's hand. So first number with 2 unseen cards, first in the list, 3, 5, 4, 2. Well, a 3 can be seen and a 5 can be seen, but no 4 can be seen right now. So that's the top priority. So Ravenbot will say 4. No, not true. Okay. Dovebot now has a 5-1. And because nothing's compromised and Dovebot doesn't know anything, we'll simply play the prince. Okay. So you're not holding a 4 through 7, and nobody knows their card. So we'll simply choose the other player. So Ravenbot has to discard their hand, draw a new card. Well, this is very bad news for the Dovebot, the Princess King. So what's going to happen is Ravenbot plays the king and trades hands with the Dovebot, giving the princess. So now Ravenbot knows that Dovebot's holding that princess, and Ravenbot got a guard in exchange. What a great trade. So unless Dovebot can find a way to get Ravenbot out in this next hand, Dovebot's probably toast here. No, the priest is not going to do it. Dovebot really would have liked to seen a baron right there. That would have been big, or at least a handmaid, to buy some time. All right. Anyway, the 2 is the play. So Dovebot gets to take a peek, but big deal. All right. Ravenbot draws a handmaid, so that's a 4-1. And since it does know someone's number, play the 1. Okay. So it plays the 1 and says, you've got the princess, so you're out. Okay, Ravenbot wins again. Ravenbot starts the next hand with a 4-1, which will be play the 4. Okay, so cannot be targeted for the rest of the round. Dovebot has a 3-2. Would only play the 3 if it knew where a 1 was, and it doesn't. So it plays the 2. But actually, since the handmaid is in play, that actually doesn't do anything. Ravenbot now gets a 2-1. It doesn't know anyone's number, so it'll play the priest. Take a look at Dovebot's hand, which is the Baron. Okay. Uh-oh. I think this is the 3rd time we've seen the Baron. Wow. So the Baron's compromised, and Dovebot draws another Baron. So, gotta just go for it and hope for the best. So play the Baron, compare hands. Dovebot gets lucky. So Dovebot wins this round. So Dovebot only needs 1 more token of affection to win this game. Ravenbot was staging a comeback, managed to win 3 in a row to come back from 0 to 5. Okay, so if Dovebot wins this round, it's all over. Okay, so 2-1 is the starting hand for Dovebot, which means that the 2 will be the play here. So it'll take a look at Ravenbot's hand, which is a guard. Okay. Ravenbot has a 1-1, and the 1's compromised because Dovebot just looked at it. Okay, so play the 1. And actually that takes away the compromise anyway, because once a 1 is played, Dovebot thinks, oh, okay, well, I don't know what their card is anymore. They just played a 1. So who knows what their card is now. Okay, anyway, Ravenbot plays the 1, and so we'll choose number with 2 unseen cards first in this list, 3, 4, 5, 2. Well, interestingly, all the 3s were in the flop this time. And there's a 2 gone. So the next number on the list is 4. Don't see any 4s. All right. So Ravenbot says, Dovebot, I think you're holding a 4. And that is not true. It's a guard. Okay. Dovebot has a 4-1. And so we'll play the 4. Doesn't know anyone's number. So the 4 can't be targeted for the rest of the round. Ravenbot also has a 4-1. And we'll do exactly the same thing. Of course, not compromised, doesn't know anyone's number, so we'll play the 4. Say, oh yeah, I could do that too. The Dove has guard. So obviously play the guard, but it won't do anything because of the handmaid. Ravenbot now has a 6-1, so we'll play the 1. Okay. Doesn't know Dovebot's card, so number with 2 unseen cards and first in this list, 3, 4, 5, 2. All right, well, the 3s are all out, the 4s are all out, but no 5s have been seen. So it'll say 5. But that's not the case. Okay. Okay, there's the princess. So Dovebot will play the 1, the guard. And so it will take the highest number 2 to 5, that is 2 unseen cards. Well, that'll be the 5 again. No 5s have been seen so far. Okay, so Dovebot says, Ravenbot, I think you're holding a 5, and that's not the case. Ravenbot gets a 6-5, and according to Ravenbot's priorities, they want to play the 6 here, which struck me as a rather bad play. But I think, again, this is a place where, you know, when I designed the bots, I really designed them to play for the 4-player game. Yeah. So anyway, we're playing them as written. So Ravenbot wants to play the 6 and trade hands with another player. Okay, so the prince goes over there and the princess comes over here. Bad trade for Ravenbot. You know, just thinking about why I designed the bot to play a 6 in this circumstance. I've just been sitting here thinking about it for a few minutes. And, you know, Ravenbot was built on the strategy idea of kind of hanging back and not playing the more aggressive cards until it gathered information. So Ravenbot wants to know what cards its opponent is holding before making aggressive moves. And so I think the idea was that the king is a sort of more defensive card, whereas the 5 is more offensive, right? It's sort of telling the player to discard their hand. So Ravenbot wants to hold back on playing the 5 until it knows where the princess is, right? If it can get in a position like that. So I guess that's what I was thinking. But, you know, the king makes you trade your hand with another player. So, you know, you're going to give the prince away anyway. So I'm not really sure, you know, if that's a Ravenbot kind of play or not, you know. But in any case, that's the decision I made when I made the bot. I'm not really sure about it now. Maybe the 5 would have been more in keeping with Raven style play. I don't know. I think 6-5 is kind of a judgment call play. Anyway, that's what Ravenbot did. As bad as that move was. That's the way it goes. So Dubbot has a 5-2. We know how this is going to go, don't we? 5-2. Play the 2, it's compromised, otherwise the 5. Okay, so the prince is going to be the play. And so if you know where the 8 is, guess that. Okay, well, Dubbot does know where the 8 is. It's right there. So that's it. Ravenbot's out. Dubbot wins, and that's the 7th token of affection. So Dubbot wins overall. So there we have it, our updated tournament bracket. Hawkbot and Ravenbot are the losers. They move down into the losers bracket. And Turkeybot and Dovebot move on in the winners bracket. So next time, we will have Hawkbot up against Ravenbot. Whoever loses that matchup will be eliminated from the tournament. And we'll have Turkeybot versus Dovebot. Whoever wins that will go on in the winners bracket, and whoever loses that will move down into the losers bracket. Okay, well, thanks for joining me this time. Hope you're enjoying this tournament as much as I am, and I'm looking forward to how this is going to turn out. I'll see you next time.